All right, well, we call this meeting to order, the April 20th meeting of the library board, and we can start with the agenda and move right into public appearances. Item number 2, I don't think we have any.
Nope.
So we'll move on to our item number 3, approval of the minutes, and we'll need a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion
So moved.
I think I've got a motion from Toby. Jay, will you second?
Sure.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion of the minutes? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion is passed. Okay, we'll move on to item number 4 on the agenda, the treasurer's report. We've got the January 2022 financial register and the January 22 financial overview.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to be moving into 2022 finally. Just a few things that I'll point out. We do typically pay most of our service contracts very early in the year. So you'll see under account 290, we've got some big ones there. One of them we approved as a board. The rest of them were low enough that we didn't have to. So we're almost nearly spent in that category. We've got a couple more that have come through that you'll see on the next 2 months reports. But that is very typical for how things operate. What else did I want to point out? Under 325, we have 2 registrations for the Public Library Association conference. I ended up not going, so one of those will be refunded. If you look under account 355, that's equipment. And we've got a big one there for today's business solutions. That is the print management system that we installed. So that was money that we had carried over from last year to this year because they couldn't do the installation. They couldn't get the equipment last year. We did finally get it installed. It's working very nicely. I think most people have gotten used to it. We're seeing quite a bit of deposits in copies, which is great.
Oh, wow.
That is not reflected here yet because it was not fully functional until February. But you'll start seeing that coming in. We just got a check the other day for, I think, $395, and that was just what was paid for on credit cards. And most people are using cash. So that's going very well, but that's what that almost $10,000 charge, that's what that is for. You'll see in 387, we've got a big one there for the state overdrive pool. That's again, a once a year payment that we make early in the year. So that's for our portion of Libby overdrive. And then account 5515510. This is an account that we don't use very often. And it's the all-in-one computers. So we call them AWEs. They are computers that go in the youth area. They're touchscreen. They're not internet. So they have preloaded kind of educational games on them. The Friends donated the money for these very generously. We were very happy about that. We've always had 2 of these in the children's area. We had taken them out during the pandemic because of the touchscreens. One of them had been pulled off the table and cracked before. It was still functional, but it did not look great. We had a lot of problems with the headphone jacks pulling out. So these new ones are in perfect condition. We paid a little bit more to get an extra sturdy stand on it. So I really feel like you would have to, I'm not sure a child could get it off the table. That's not a challenge to anybody, but they feel much more secure to me. So I'm hoping we're not going to have issues with these. But that's what that charge is on there. I think that's everything that I wanted to note. Does anybody have any questions? If not, then we should approve these.
Yeah, so we'll need a motion to approve the 2022 financial overview and register, please.
So moved.
Okay.
A second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? We'll move to vote then. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Okay, motion is passed. And moving on to item 5, unfinished business. I don't think we have any.
Nope.
Item 6, new business of the 2021 post-audit financial report.
This is the fun time of year where we get to look at the whole previous year all together. I will say that they are expecting one last post-audit report in the finance department. So there is a tiny chance that something could change here, but I doubt it. So we came out at the end of the year very well. This is, I think we had a lot left over because of pandemic services being what they were for a good part of the year. So we had a lot of funds left over. We didn't have an outreach librarian for the full year, so we saved there in salary and in benefits. We saved money in performer contracts that we didn't have, programming things. So it just wasn't a normal year for us. We did spend the entire collection budget, which is great. I'm happy with how things look. Nothing is overspent. What did I want to point out here? If you look in the pink box, you'll see that what we had left at the end of the year was 169,000. So that will go into fund balance, which is fantastic because, as we'll talk about later, we have a quote on our new automated materials handling system that is more expensive than we expected. So good to be putting money, and we do put money every year into fund balance. And almost all of our capital improvement plans are paid out of that fund. So we're just sort of planning for the future there. Let's see. Anything else? Did anybody have questions? Was there anything that jumped out at anyone?
Oh, just great to see our ability to keep doing what you need to do to run the library and make improvements and deal with the things that, break or otherwise need support, and still put significant amount of money into fund balance for the future. That's just really, really great to see.
Yeah, it was a good year for sure. I wouldn't expect in the future to see this kind of a fund balance, so don't get used to it. We're obviously back up to full services, so things are going to be more normal in 22. But also remember that this budget absorbed the LED lighting project.
Yep.
So that's great too. Excellent. So if no questions, we should approve this as well.
So moved.
Moved by Jay. Could we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ann. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion on the post-audit financial report? Then all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion is passed. Okay. Item number 7 on the agenda, the president report. It's my turn. Hey, today is my final meeting, as you all pointed out before we started. I just want to say it's been really a real honor to spend time with you all and be a part of this group. I want to just say thank you for empowering me to lead our meetings. I want to say thank you for all of your consistent commitment and service. Wendy, for you, and really for Maggie and all of the library staff, I just want to say thank you for what you do to provide a really phenomenal resource for our community. I think about it from just like the excellent daily management of all the details that you have to think through and manage and deal with, to the thoughtful long-term budgeting like we just looked at, and strategic planning is critical to what we do. And to be able to float between both of those things on a regular basis is impressive. So Wendy, you and the team, an impressive group. So thank you for all you do for Fitchburg and for all of the surrounding communities. And that concludes my final president's report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephen.
Yes.
You've been a terrific president,
Pleasure.
board president.
My pleasure. Thank you. And we can move on to item number 9, committee reports.
8, I have a library director report
Oh, sorry.
because I have to thank you
Item number
for
8.
all of your dedication to the board. As I mentioned, 7 years on the board, which is more than we usually ask of anybody. So thank you for going above and beyond, and for your dedication to the library, for being an advocate for the library. I will be forever grateful that the board was so supportive throughout all the closures and all the different changes in services. So thank you for that.
Yep.
We appreciate it. I should also say thank you to Ben, who is not here. Ben got hung up on a flight. So he was hoping to join from Denver and is not able to because he was delayed. But thank you to Ben for being on the board. He's been on, I think, for 5 or 6 years now as our school representative, and appreciated that. Appreciated his insight as a librarian as well. I think that came in handy. Yeah, so we're gonna miss you guys. It's gonna be a different experience. We're gonna have 3 new members next month. So thank you for all of your time. A couple other things I wanted to mention. We are gearing up as a city for the town of Madison absorption. So the town of Madison is splitting into 2. Part of it is going to the city of Madison. Part of it is coming to the city of Fitchburg. So that happens in October, but we're getting ready to do some outreach events as a city. So we're doing an informational meeting next week that'll be held over in that area. And all the department heads are coming to kind of give an overview of their department, what services we provide, and then just to be there for questions and to hand out informational materials. So we've got some single family houses, more condos, and a lot of apartments over there, and 100 businesses, I think. So we're bringing on all those people. Just want to make sure that they know what we do. They are also in our plans for outreach this summer that we'll talk about in a little bit. Yeah, I think that's all I have under the library director report.
Great. Okay, move on to item 9, to committee reports.
All right, I don't have anything for strategic planning. For facilities, as I mentioned, the materials handling system, so that is due for replacement next year, which means that we are doing all of our research and getting pricing this year. I did increase the capital improvement plan to $212,000. We got bids for 3 different machines from the same company. So we are limited in who we can purchase from because they have to work with South Central and our ILS system. So we're looking at Envisionware. They gave us 3 different options. The middle one was $212,000. That's not a final price. You know, they're designing something for us. I had budgeted originally $190,000 based on the purchase price of our current machine, and then escalated that 3% a year. I was hopeful it was going to be less with this company, but the design of our sorter, if you've seen it, the drive-through book drop is a much higher grade. So there's a very long angled conveyor belt that needs to come down to feed into it. So it's elevation differences that are, I think, driving up the price. Also, I mean, the timing is kind of awful, right? Everything is expensive now. The cost of steel has gone way up. I have talked with a number of different people about, like, if we wait a year or 2, will prices go down? And kind of the consensus is that they probably won't. So I'm not dead set on doing it next year, but we are doing our homework to get ready if we need to. Our current sorter is working. They're doing some work on it. We're having a few very small issues, so they've been doing some work on it. But it's gonna, it's 11 years old now, so I think end of life is not far away. I think there will also be a lot more features in the new one that we will appreciate. So we are going down to the Chicago area in mid-May to visit 2 other libraries that have this sorter that we're looking at. One of them actually has the elevation difference that we have. So we'll be able to see how that works and just talk to the staff there and see how they feel about it, if it works for them. So just doing our homework on that. And that is everything for facilities.
Wendy, may I ask a question?
Yeah.
Was the chiller approved by the Common Council?
Yes,
Okay.
it was. Yes. Yes, and there's not a lot of progress going on that. I think they're still working on dates. I believe they landed on April 2023 for installation. But I will definitely give you updates when I have them.
Thank you.
Yes. So I'm going to move on to personnel. Our outreach librarian started.
Make a little clarification on that.
Yeah.
So we approved a whole bunch of things with the ARPA money that the city's getting. We approved, like, I think $3 or $4 million more than what we have. So What that basically means is that none of the projects that were approved have actually had a final approval yet, but they're all included. So this is a prioritized project, so I'm sure this is going to get a final approval at some point. But right now, there were projects that were approved, but it's way more than what we have. So some of the stuff that was approved is going to get cut out, but I can't imagine that this project will be one of those.
No, but it will definitely have to go through several more stages of approvals.
Right, but we certainly don't want the pipes freezing when we lose the heat next year because
No,
it
that
doesn't
would,
work and all the books get ruined. So
no, that would be unpleasant.
that
To say
would-
the least. Yeah.
yes. Thank you.
All right. Personnel, outreach librarian started on March 31st. Her name is Minda Maurer. She's fantastic. She has hit the ground running faster than any of us expected. She is going to be ready to go for outreach this summer. We weren't sure if we would find the right person. We weren't sure if they would be ready to do things by the summer. So I am super happy that we are going to move forward. She is got all kinds of plans that we're working on. What we're looking at, I think, is 3 afternoons a week, each in a different park. So one park I think we'll go back to the Leopold Park, which is what we have done in the past. The Hugo Jamestown Park, which is over in the Jamestown area, and then the Southdale Park, which is in the town of Madison. So I think that gives us kind of the best spread around the city. She's got a bunch of other parks that she's looking at to do kind of pop-up things. So I think she's just really anxious to get out and kind of see what the reception is in different areas, what the need is in different areas. But she's going to be great. Because she's so great, we talked to the Friends of the Library, and they are very generously going to fund 2 part-time outreach assistant positions for the summer. This is a position that we did a couple of years ago, if you remember, with Liz. And then haven't done, obviously during the pandemic, we weren't doing it. We hadn't budgeted for it this year because we didn't know if we would have a person in the position or if they would be ready to go. So because they are, we went to the Friends, they had a meeting on Monday night and they approved this. So there will be a budget amendment that will need to come to the library board in May that just acknowledges that the Friends are funding this and to put the money into the appropriate account. So the salary and wage account, the FICA account, and the insurance account. So they will each work 115 hours over the summer. And they'll be both helping Minda get things ready for programs. So getting all the equipment and craft things ready, and then out in the parks with her helping out. So very excited about that. This is more summer programming than I thought we were going to be able to get done this year. So real happy to get back to things. I think everybody will be happy to see us in those neighborhoods. So looking forward to that. The other good news.
Wendy,
Yes.
what's the archetype of kind of person you want to fill those roles for the summer?
Somebody who loves children.
All right.
A lot of energy, a lot of patience, likes to be outside.
Do you see it as sort of student, somebody in library sciences who's thinking about career and sort of still in school, or does it matter? Could
be a high school student.
Yeah.
Could be a college student. Absolutely.
Okay.
I think we're open. A lot of energy. The last thing I have, and this is fantastic news, is we were able to increase the Shelver Pay Rate. So we've talked about this before, but they were making $9.25 an hour. We were having a very hard time recruiting for that position and retaining that position. We have increased that to $13 an hour with the hopes of going to $15 an hour in 2023 if it's financially feasible. So I'm very excited about that. This is going to apply to all of our existing shelvers as well, starting May 2nd. So we have 5 shelvers that it'll apply to. We are looking to hire 5 more. We've been doing interviews and they've been going well. So I think we're gonna be back in shape for shelving. We've been having a real hard time for the last couple of weeks. We've been having a lot of people that are not shelvers shelve, and nobody loves it. It's a hard job. It's a very physical job. So very excited about that. I should also mention with the summer outreach assistants, in the past, we paid them $11.75 an hour, and we are bumping that up to $15.50 an hour. Very happy about all of that. I think we're finally getting back getting up into where we need to be. Those were all able to be changed because they're on the seasonal LTE schedule, but we had a discussion also with HR about changing the name of that because our shelver positions are neither seasonal or LTE. And I think it's confusing for people when they apply. So we're going to change that. And they're also going to look into applying some kind of cost of living increase to that, because that is not included in the normal usual COLA that happens in the budget for the permanent staff. So they're going to look into adding something in that way for 2023. So very happy about all of that. And that's all I have for committee reports.
Very good. Thank you, Wendy. And we'll move to item 10, announcements. Next board meeting, 1 month, May 18th.
Still on Zoom?
Still on Zoom.
I think that'll change this summer. So I will be prepared maybe in June or July to come back to in-person meetings.
Interesting, because the Dane County dashboard was up 400 cases today. 400
Well,
cases.
That might change.
Yep.
I mean, Zoom might change. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's up to city council, so.
Okay. Then we need a motion to adjourn, please.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no? Okay. Thank you all very much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Stephen.
you.
We're gonna miss you.